does almost everyone remain comfortable, but everyone complains lots, but rarely does anything to take a leap?
Why does everyone remain comfortable? It's an interesting question, because one of the things that we would promote in a well-being atmosphere and a well-being lifestyle in your own human existence would be that you live this life satisfied, that you live it content, and that it's okay to be in those places. It's okay to be satisfied with where you are. As a matter of fact, I would encourage that all day, every day. But in that satisfied state, it's also nice to know that there are bigger things on its way. We can't possibly live in a euphoric state 24/7. We would lose our minds. We don't even like watching other people run around happy-go-lucky all the time. So we just can't expect to be there all the time. We need to have those emotional experiences that are less than satisfying. We need those because those tell us what we ultimately want. But the bigger picture in the human experience is we don't know that we're creating with everything that we do. We don't. We tend to think that this sort of life is happening to us, and it just isn't. Because with every thought, with every emotion, we are creating. We're creating the outcome, we're creating with other people, we're sharing this existence. But for a lot of humans, we don't even know what we want to do. We don't. And when we're in confusion, guess where confusion is? Confusion is below the line. So when we're in confusion, then the laws of the universe bring life experiences that are going to contribute to that, which might now cause insecurity or fear. So the human doesn't realize that their own emotional state is causing them to remain in a place that's less than pleasing. So once we guide our human population and our children and everybody around us to know that when they don't feel good, when they feel complacent, when they feel like they're not going anywhere, those are just indicators that what you're looking at right now is holding you in a place of discomfort. So what can we do as the human being? Well, there are two really big words in our English language: blame and guilt. Blame, when we're looking at something we don't like, we want them to stop. We wouldn't feel this way if they weren't doing what they were doing. In my world, don't look at what they're doing. Don't worry about it. None of our business. Let's go over here and look at more pleasing things. That's a choice the human has to make, because there are always going to be people doing things we don't like. Always. Quite frankly, it's how we expand. So you have to be able to make that decision that as a human, if you're in a state of blame, for instance, the government isn't doing enough over the relief of vaccinations, then you're holding yourself in a place of discontent, which is below satisfied, which the laws of the universe are going to respond to. So again, you have a choice. You can look at what's not happening, or you can look at what is happening. You can become part of the difference. So instead of complaining, we can promote. Instead of blaming, we can find gratitude, or we can find happiness somewhere else. But humans have this innate desire that when we don't feel good, then we're going to get on some pretty big bandwagons that are going to help us stay there. We're going to want to protest. We're going to want to create environments of discontent. We're going to want to point out the wrongness of everything going on around us. But when we do that, not only are we not helpful to ourselves, because you cannot be in a place of protest and have the laws of the universe bring you happy things. The word protest itself means complaining. When you're complaining, where are you? You're less than satisfied. And even again, if you don't believe in the laws of the universe bringing you the things that are going to match your emotional state, who cares? In the moment, you're less than satisfied. And the whole point of this life experience is to have fun. So again, why do people stay there? Because they don't know how to figure out what it is they want to do. And when we're in a place of boredom, laziness, tired, blame, guilt, fear, worry, then it makes it even more difficult to get off the couch to go find something to do. So first, we have to tell a different story. Number one, the words we use are so incredibly important in our life experience. You have to be willing to tell a different story. So for the one that might be complaining that their favorite restaurant is closed and that it's wrong that small businesses are being hurt by this pandemic, or we want to go protest, we actually have to ask ourselves a question. Is it really helpful or hurtful? And quite frankly, if you're down in despair and rage and anger, then yes, protesting will feel better. It will. It'll feel like you're doing something to make a difference, that you're contributing to society. But the word protest means you're complaining. It means you're not happy with an event. And this life experience requires us to be unconditional to be able to enjoy it. So what does that mean? Well, don't ask yourself to look at a closure of a restaurant and feel good. Don't ask yourself to do that. That's ridiculous. It's weird for me when something weird happens and then you expect them to be okay with it. Let's not ask people to be okay with things that bother us. But what we can ask people to do is not to look at the things that bother us. We can look somewhere else. We can look at more pleasing things. And just like in a protest where you could gather a bunch of people to show up at a restaurant where, again, there is risk of spreading disease, where you are breaking the law, you could be putting the owner's business license at risk. There are just so many other things. So when you look at it in the bigger picture, was it really helpful? Or you could do almost the identical things from a different end of the stick. Still create the Facebook group. Get your friends to order through Uber Eats. Donate to their restaurant. Promote the well-being of eating there. There are just so many other things we can do that do in fact help. And guess what happens to us? When we take those actions from that good feeling place, well, we get to reap the benefits. We get to feel good. We get to feel like we've contributed. We get to feel like we've taken part. Just don't ask the laws of the universe to bring you the good stuff when you're taking action from a place that's less than satisfying. It's just not the way it works. And when we do that, we create a lot of disruption. So for us, know that if you're complaining about something, you have an opportunity to do two things again. You can change your focus, or you can become part of the solution. So whatever you're complaining about, the opposite end of the stick is what you want. Go take part in that. And not only will you feel better, you will in fact become part of the solution. Have a great day, everyone.